Right. So are those, because those are really the easiest one that is in the general category is mostly easy. It's only when you get to about the sort of this one's gonna be hard. Um, Anything above 200 points is hard, but they're not overly hard. They're manageable, but you sort of need to be familiar with it. If you just step through it one by one, from the 5.1 all the way to the last one on that category, you'll definitely get to a point where you can answer everything. Okay, so next we will try reverse engineering, and on this one, the first thing that we're going to do is key gen me. So reverse engineering will be mostly one of two things. One is reading a code and trying to understand what it does, and see if you can find what's wrong with it to make it run properly, or you'll get an actual binary executable and try to find out what it's doing. So it's like the actual code that's already compiled. Okay? So this one, we're given a Python file, and we're going to look into how this file is operating. And this is actually already been available in Discord. I've actually, once I've solved this, I've actually given it to some people on Discord to see if they can also crack it. But to run this, the best thing to do is to run it. So you will see. I don't have the interpreter. I don't use this laptop that much.
You just use Python on the command line to run it.
You won't see it though. It's hard. Let me just get through this installation and then we'll get back to it. Might not have the ARM as well. Okay, so now we can actually run it. What the? Okay, so once it's run, it's going to ask you to choose something. So either choose A, B, C, or D. I'm going to choose D for now because I want to look at the code and explain what's happening here. One thing that you can do, especially in VS Code, is actually put a debugger on it. So when you try and run it, it will actually tell you everything that you need to know anyway. So we'll put it on this trial menu. The first choice that you're given here, right, if you run it, is to, you have four choices, A, B, C, and D. And the D is just to exit the program, okay? The choice A is actually, I call it a fluff. It's actually there to confuse a lot of people because the actual most of the code in this script, right, in this Python script, it's actually not relevant, and it's meant to just confuse people once you try and run it. So, for example, if you run it, is it not? So the few things that you have to take notice is these actual key parts, right? That's the static one, and it will be appended by this dynamic one that will change by the function of the code that this Python script will do, and then that's the third part of this code, okay? And the username is important because this is what's actually going to go through a hash algorithm. So if you dismiss option A and option B and go straight to option C, option C will take you to enter license function. And if you go to that function, which is here, first it's going to ask you to enter your license key, which you don't have, okay? And if you follow the logic of this this script, the main thing to look for, if you're not very familiar with Python, because I know Python is something that's not actually taught in Flinders. There's a snippet of it in Fundamentals of Computer Intelligence, but a lot of cybersecurity stuff is actually done in Python because it's it's a lot more easier to understand Python because it's sort of like pseudocode. It's easier to code in Python. That's probably my take for it. But if you just check everything that it's doing, so that's the function, and this function is calling the check key function as well. And if we go to that check key function, it's looking for two arguments, the key and the username trial. Okay? So that key will use these templates, this global variable, and it will basically hash the username that was given on the global variable here, that Morton username, and grab certain parts of that hash character. So in your terminal, if you go Python 3, and then try to copy this one of these See, the output for that function is 7. And all you have to do is actually do this one by one for all of these, and you will actually get that dynamic part, all of it. And all you have to, after that, what you'll have to do is to concatenate the static and the dynamic parts to make the whole flag. So if we go back to that function, so we're looking for 4, 5, 3, 6. So we got 7, 5, F, C, let me try to go back to Pico CTF. Hopefully it still has my cookies in there. Yep, still has it. Okay. Sorry, I know this is painful. So for this exercise, right, that's what it's doing. You'll just have to grab all of it. And this is, if you copy this.
Just a question, Jim.
Yeah?
By default, Kali Linux doesn't come with Visual Studio. How do you suggest doing the debugging through like the hash library if we don't have it?
Sorry, say it again.
Because you're using Visual Studio.
Yeah.
By default, Kali Linux doesn't have that.
Yeah.
How do you suggest? It's using the hash library, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you suggest figuring this out with just the default like?
If you
Python?
want to just install it on your terminal,
Okay. Yep.
you can do pip install #lib. I don't have pip3. I'm not sure what the actual module is, but you could just install the, you can Google the module itself. But if you want to install VS Code in Kali, just Google VS Code for Kali and it will basically download, you'll have to download something, download this file. And then you can install it using DKPG, sorry, tag I. Okay, let me get back to it. 75FC. Seven, 5FC. Two, 718. Seven, 1, 8. So that's 1081. Now you'll notice that the actual flag, even if you copy what I did here, will be different for everyone. Because when you download your own version of this Python script, it will actually, if you look at the global username, it will all be different. There's about 9 of them that I know exists. So just just know that if it doesn't work, that's because you're probably using the wrong username. Okay, so it must be related to your actual user account, Pico CTF account. That's why it's not working. Okay. Cool.
Is it worth having a quick run round to see where everyone's at?
Yeah. Aman, have you ordered our... Yeah, cool. So for... Let me just look at...
You go up to general on the left.
Yeah, definitely, Cybersecurity. We're actually going there next. While we're waiting for the pizza to arrive, we'll probably just soldier on. The next one should be easy enough to explain. Sorry, I know I didn't explain the keygen me very well, but you'll just have to catch me on Discord to explain it better. The next one is this one, crackme.py. And this one's a lot easier to understand because it's a lot shorter. Okay. So that's the actual code, right? And if you run it, it's going to ask, what's your first number? I'm going to say 10, second number, 12, and it's just going to return the highest of the 2 numbers. Okay? So if you actually look at the exact code, it's saying that hiding this really important number in an obscure piece of brilliant, and it's encrypted. And you could sort of see here that the encryption is ROT47. So ROT47 is rotation 47 cipher. If you have this alphabet, right, the 47 corresponds to the number of rotation you're going to use. So for example, if you want to use the letter A, say we're using ROT2, rotation 2, what you're going to use is the letter C because you're going to rotate that two steps to the right. Okay? So that's what this cipher does. It rotates 47 places to your right or to your left because this one says that it's actually the same, left or right. Okay? And one way of doing this, right, is to not actually run the code and just grab this secret variable and go to a website called Cybersecurity. If you put in your input there, right, this is the string that we're trying to decode. And normally, right now we know it's ROT47. So you could just search for that cipher and use that in the recipe. and it's going to give you the output. Okay? And very importantly, especially in CTF, CyberChef is used a lot because it's a lot easier than running code. But if you don't know what you're trying to cipher, to decode or encode, you can actually use a recipe called magic. And it will try to analyze it for you. This time it didn't actually work. But it will try to run it a few times. Using different encoding ciphers, and see if one of them is the actual output that you're looking for. But going back to the actual code, say you don't have to use CyberChef and just look at it from this code. You can see that this is a function that's being defined, right? And in this function, the decoded variable will be printed, and this one is the choose the greatest, right? And if you look at what's being run, it's only actually running this function. It's not actually running this this first function. So if you actually just comment this, and what's the function name again? Decoded secret. And run the other function, you will also get the actual flag being decoded by this function here. So at the very least, this Python code, you guys could copy and actually use to create your own ciphers for other application that you're going to write in Python.
Sorry, Jim.
Yep.
Which argument did you provide to the function?
Sorry, what?
Which argument did you provide?
Oh, I provided that same variable from the global variable, this one, which contained this encrypted string. Yeah, because the actual function needed an argument. The good thing about this Python program is there's actually only a couple of variables, and there's only a couple of functions. So it's sort of easier to actually look at it and find out what it's doing. Plus, the actual dead giveaway of the ROT47D code is really helpful. Again, you could do it if you're in a hurry, like doing a Jeopardy style CTF in 2 hours. You'll definitely you won't read the whole code and just run this on CyberChef if you know the actual cipher. Okay, so after that, oops. How do we want to